Okay, can you explain that a little bit, please?
Yeah. Are you familiar with microwaves frequencies?
Not particular.
Okay. Highly focused electromagnetic beam of radiation. Okay. Typically line of sight. It's actually pretty mandatory that they be line of sight. They don't tend to refract, and they will penetrate off of the supposed ionosphere if they're above 30 megahertz. Um, and the world record right now is over 830 miles, negating roughly 80 miles of curvature drop. And there's really no logical or practical explanation for this if we live on flat water.
So, what you're saying is microwaves prove we live on a flat Earth.
It debunks the notion that the Earth is curving at 8 inches per mile squared, and considering that's the only logical way that the globe would be able to work, it has to be a radius value of 3,959, because if we falsify the radius value, then we falsify the distance to the sun. All the formulas for gravity that incorporate that radius value fall apart. All of the formulas for refraction that incorporate the radius value then fall apart as well. And the radius value is in conjunction with the 8 inches per mile squared curvature drop. That's actually how you derive the formula for curvature. Sorry, I got a spam phone call right there. Um, so if we falsify the 8 inches per mile squared, we falsify the globe entirely. And the default position is that the Earth is flat and stationary anyway. That's how you experience it. So, um,
Yeah, but
yeah,
when you say 8 inches per square mile, are you
8 inches
talking
per mile
about?
squared. Sorry, it's
Yeah, but how?
it's not just semantics. If you did per square mile, you would get like square footage, right? That's not. It's
Yeah,
a parabolic approximation dropped from a tangent, right? So it's
yeah, of
per
course. So
mile
that's the
squared.
curvature.
It's exponential increase and exponential increase in drop per mile squared.
Yes, that's correct. So it's a curved surface with a flat line running across the top of it, correct?
It's a parabolic approximation. It's good for up to 1,000 miles. Depending on the sources that you ask, I watched a guy on YouTube. He's a glober. He said if you do it at the around the entire circumference at the equator, it's actually pretty much like it's off by such a minuscule amount that it's basically immeasurable. But I mean, if you want to just leave it at up to a good up to 1,000 miles, I'm fine with that because the microwave frequency in question is 830, so that's well within the margin of error.
So when you talk about a microwave, you're on about the ones that you use in your kitchen that you set the time on and it cooks your food,
No,
or
dude. A microwave frequency transmission. I explained it to you. It's a highly focused beam of electromagnetic radiation. It's not on the visible light spectrum. Highly focused. It's almost like a laser. And we use them to transmit signals from one location to another.
oh, I get what you're saying. I'd have to probably look into that more because I don't really know much about that.
If you want
Um,
to, you can Google Laura Wan world record and you'll get at least half a dozen sources on it, all giving the same narrative.
okay, yeah, I can look into that. I can't really do it now because it'll kick me off the live.
Okay.
But it might have to be something I do later on.
Because if that's true, then there's 80 miles. I think it's 79.5, but semantics really. Um, Miles of missing curvature. And like I said, they can't penetrate. They would penetrate the ionosphere, so you can't claim propagation. And it wouldn't refract 80 miles. That's completely illogical. We have no evidence that it can even behave that way.
Okay, well, I appreciate your input. I can't really speak much on that subject because I have not a clue what you're going on about. When I think of a microwave, I think of the thing that you have in your kitchen. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
that's the sort of thing I think of when I think of a microwave.
okay, no, and do you have anything that would prove that the Earth is curving at the rate of which they claim?
I mean, I can give you one example.
Yeah, sure.
Is Star Trail.
Star
How do you
trails
have
does that
how
wouldn't prove that the Earth is curving. You'd
why,
pre-assume that and just make an observation, then reaffirm what you already believe. That's not
well,
actual.
okay, I will ask you a question. How do you get star trails moving in different directions in different hemispheres and moving above your head on the equator, but How does that work on a flat surface?
Well, you can
How
recreate this
how
effect in a pool of water. If you take a magnet and you put it in the center of like a petri dish and you have water, you'll actually see if you put pepper in the water, you'll see the pepper do a swirling rotation in one direction, and then it'll actually change directions as it increases outwards towards the perimeter. This is a phenomena called electromagnetodynamics. I'm not too well versed on that, but it is very easily recreatable. I'm not saying that that's what's happening. It honestly could just be a frame of reference argument as well. You have an azimuthal grid of vision. It could just be the way you observe things naturally. You have a dome of vision. That's how you observe things. So, but I mean, without you actually physically proving that we are in fact standing upside down on a sphere, your argument is equally as hypothetical and theoretical as my own.
Okay, yeah, right. You might be able to get it to the point where it rotates in one direction and rotates in the other, but could you manipulate that so it also looks like it's moving in one direction too, like it would be on the equator?
I'm not sure. Maybe on a larger scale. Like I said, I'm not too well versed on that. But looking at the sky and begging the question and affirming the consequent does not actually physically prove that the Earth is curving at the rate at which they claim. Right?
Yeah, I'd say that could be true.
No, I mean, it doesn't, though. Like, you haven't actually physically measured the Earth dropping, curving. You can't prove that water convexes around a sphere and sticks to it in orbit. You can't, like, you're just begging the question. You're using an observation and then pre assuming the conclusion of your argument and then incorporating it. It's begging the question fallacy.
So I can't. Yes, fair enough. I haven't myself measured the curvature rate of the Earth, but there's things that you can observe that wouldn't work on a flat surface, like the sun dipping below the horizon.
That's easily recreated on a flat surface. If I had my laptop, you can look into TikTok Zoom. He's a TikTok account, and he does bottom up obstruction videos on flat surfaces. I've seen
Does
him
he
do it with a
have his
coin.
camera above the surface of the table, or is it below the
No, when
surface of
you
the
do this,
table?
you line up the aperture so that it's level with whatever surface you're on. He made a little paper boat and he put it at the end of like a 2x4 and he has the camera there. And at first you can't see the little paper boat because it's so small, but as he zooms in, it comes up bottom up first, and then he zooms back out and it disappears bottom up as well.
And what's his name? Sorry.
I think it's I can send you it because I want to say it's TikTok Zoom, but I think it's Tik2 Zoom, TIT or TIKTOO Zoom, ZOOM. He has like a few, I don't know how many, but he has quite a few videos. Basically, the argument then becomes that things disappearing bottom up is not specific to a curving surface.
It has to be
And
above the table, mate,
Okay,
to do
so
this
why
observation.
why did sailors in the olden days need sextants then if the Earth was flat?
you still need a sextant even if the Earth is flat. So a
No,
sextant,
because you wouldn't
oh,
have a
okay.
dip angle on that sextant if the Earth was flat.
Can I
So
respond
to
to
sit
your?
there and
Can I
say that
respond? How do you,
you'd have a
Carl?
sextant with a dip angle on a flat Earth is absolutely absurd. So to
Carl, can I
sit there and agree
respond?
that you have a sextant
Can
is
I
just proving
respond?
how much of a disingenuous POS you are.
Okay,
So
we don't
you
need the
have
ad
your
homs, friend.
answer. There you go. There
Hey,
is
is
something that
host? Can
measures
we
the Earth
Can we maybe
curvature,
moderate this
a
a little bit better?
sextant,
I don't
because it
think I'm
has a
being
dip
treated fairly
angle.
here.
You're welcome.
I don't think I'm being treated
There's
fairly.
the answer to your question. A
I,
sextant. It has a dip angle. You're welcome.
I'm aware. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
When you
okay.
use
So
this,
a sextant uses a
Carl, you
dip
haven't given me
angle
a chance to
because
respond,
the
Carl.
horizon is never at your eye
Hey,
level. It's
Carl.
always below
Hey,
your eye
Carl. If you
level.
don't give me a chance to respond, you don't win the debate. You realize that, right? You don't win just
I
because you
don't need
talk
to give
through
you a
me.
chance to respond. There's nothing to respond to.
Oh,
Uh,
you admit
a
that you won't give
sextant
me a
has a
chance to
dip
respond.
angle. There's no nutter in it. There's no fucking
I didn't
arguing it.
nuh-uh you.
That's how a
If
fucking
you listen to
sextant
what I
Hey,
was saying,
Carl,
works.
can we mute
Carl, have
this
you
guy?
ever seen the curve?
This guy's literally contributing nothing to the
How
conversation.
a
I'm being
sextant
very
works.
polite.
If you don't understand how a sextant works, and
I
I'm
am
glad
No,
that
going
you
to
never
Carl,
explain
have
to
you
you
ever
how a
seen the
I'm
sextant
curve?
glad
works.
that you
Carl,
never
you haven't
spent the
given me a
day
chance to
of your
talk.
life on the sea if you don't know how a sextant works. I'm
Hey,
glad.
okay,
And
I'm
you
going to
can see it
explain to
here
you
out of the
how do you
conditions
hold a
like we
sextant when
know.
you Hey, I thought maybe I was going to be able to talk. How do you hold a sextant when you use it, Carl?
You hold it level to the horizon.
No, you hold it vertically. You hold it
Hold it
vertically.
level to the
You hold it.
horizon, then you
He
put a
doesn't know
dip
what he's talking
angle
about.
on
This
it,
is literally
and then
Googleable.
it's level.
You hold it vertically.
That's why you
and
have the dip angle.
Hey, can I talk for more
Why
than 2
don't you let
seconds
him
without
speak, man?
Yeah, exactly. If I'm incorrect, just correct me afterwards. Let me say whatever is wrong. Let the audience decipher it for themselves. Actually, the internet is free for anybody who didn't know. ChatGPT can assist you with this as well because it's not hidden knowledge. You hold a sextant vertical. You line up the aperture with the horizon, and then you measure the dip angle of a star.
So
You
there is
don't
a dip
measure.
angle there then. So you do put the
I
sextant
just told, what
out,
did I just
and then
say?
you have the dip angle. So you're agreeing to a dip angle. You're
Yeah,
I
losing
am.
by agreeing to a dip
Carl,
angle.
the dip angle for a flat earther is the dome because they're measuring from stars.
You use a sextant to measure an angular measurement of a star. You can pick a star, or you can use the sun, or you can use whatever, right? But you line up the vertical, like it's almost like a crosshair of your aperture, the optic, with the horizon, and then you measure the angle of the star. This is how you navigate using celestial navigation with the use of sextants. And you hold it vertically, okay, Carl. I know
Don't
you're still
fucking shit.
triggered
That's
because
why you have a dip
Carl,
angle,
are you still
okay?
mad about yesterday when you?
Yeah, okay. That's why you have a dip angle, okay? You wouldn't need a dip angle if the earth was flat, okay?
You
Okay?
assume oh
Okay,
my god.
Solly? You wouldn't need a
You
dip
assume
angle if the earth was
you
flat, okay, Solly?
Carl, you don't
Okay?
have to repeat yourself. You
Okay?
already said it once. This dude's a crash out. He ended his live yesterday because I dunked on him. And he's still
I
mad
ended
about
my
it, I guess.
life because it was late and I wasn't dealing with anybody anymore and I wanted to go to fucking bed because
I
it
have
was
a
12
screenshot,
o'clock at
bro.
night. So I'm here all day though and all night. You know, I've got the laptop out with the world record attempt. I'm currently looking at that as well if you want to obfuscate off that as well.
The world record of what?
Have you ever, sorry, have you ever asked your, because you said ChatGPT is a source, and a lot of
No, I
people,
didn't say that was a source. I said that you can use it to explain to you how a sextant works.
you can also use it to explain to you everything wrong with a flat Earth.
Okay. And you can get it to explain all of the ontological and fine-tuning problems that the globe has that you guys are unfamiliar with. What is your
No
point?
problems. It's just globe denial.
Really, Carl? What's Hubble tension then, Carl? What's the vacuum catastrophe? Explain the flatness problem to me and how you remedy that. How do you remedy the cosmic microwave background in proportion to the axis of evil? How do you remedy these
Asking
ontological
illogical
issues?
questions to try and suit your narrative. Okay. Okay, no
No, you
worries.
said there was no.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
said there was
If
no
you're going to play
problems
dirty,
with
that's
the.
fine.
You
Yeah.
said there was no
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
problems.
Yeah,
You
solid,
said there
solid
was no
bone fragment.
problems.
How'd you get a pressure gradient?
You
If you want
said
to
there
play
was no
dirty, I can
problems.
play
Why are you
dirty too.
obfuscate? Is Carl? Can Carl hang out here and be cordial? Is he capable, or should we just ignore him? I'm pretty sure I'm being
You can
respectful.
ignore
here.
him if you want, but I'm kind of finding this kind of funny right now.
Why am I being muted?
Sorry, I was bored.
You muted me?
Bored.
Oh, you're a mod. So this is a heavily biased flat Earth discussion, is it?
It was a petty mute for being bitchy for me.
Hey,
you
Carl.
know, me
Carl,
apparently
since
talking
there's
over you
no,
and not
since
giving you a
there's
chance to
no,
speak. But I'm
okay,
on mute.
brilliant.
You've had plenty of chances to speak.
Hey,
Brilliant.
Carl.
Since
Carl.
there's no, since there, oh, one more thing, bro. Since there's no problems with the globe, how would you remedy Hubble tension, the vacuum catastrophe, the axis of evil, the amount of redshift that we observe through the cosmic microwave background? How do you remedy these ontological issues, Carl?
fallacy claim that I'm claiming? And even if somebody does claim this and we can't figure out the fundamental reason why these things happen, you then want to try and prove that the Earth is flat because we can't figure out why these fundamental things happen.
No,
Does
you're
that answer your question for you?
You're misunderstanding my position, Carl. You said that there was no problems with the globe. There's multiple problems with the globe, and I've addressed them, and I don't have a remedy for these. If you could help me, I'd be very grateful.
Denial, not flat Earth evidence.
I'd be so grateful, Carl, if you could educate me as to how
roll
we have
the
more
R a little
redshift
bit
than we
more,
should
that'd
if
be
we.
great. You know, if you can roll the R a little bit more, that'd be great. You know, if you just say Carl like lambs with hats, you know, it'd be a bit more
Right.
American of you.
Right. What I'm gonna
Yeah.
do, right, pass me the controller a sec, babe, and you can go back on your game. Right. I'm gonna go onto the internet right now, because I don't know a lot about microwave frequencies, right? I'm gonna type in on the internet. Tell me what you want me to type. What was your original question about microwave frequencies? How do they work on the globe?
Yeah, do they bend?
If you could. Oh, go ahead, Cloud. You haven't gotten a chance to talk yet.
Yeah, do they bend?
Don't let Carl stop you.
words?
Well, so the sun goes around the earth.
That's nothing to do with the conversation.
Yeah, you're right. It does.
The sun goes around the Earth, so she's a geocentrist. Your child.
No, that's the way it looks like from the perspective of standing on the Earth.
It sounds like geocentrism to me. The kid's smarter than you, bro.
Sure, she is.
Funny. So with microwave frequency transmissions, what I really wanted you to look into was LoRaWAN, LoRaWAN, world record, and you can take any source you like, pick anyone.
Sure, that's the world record frequency that we have on the shape of the Earth.
Carl, you think microwaves are what you find in your kitchen, Carl?
Don't obfuscate from the question and answer
You
the
think
question.
microwaves are what you find in your kitchen,
the
Carl?
only longest distance thing that we have on the shape of the Earth, by any chance?
Can you rephrase your argument in a way that makes sense? What are you asking me?
Because we have the farthest artificial sign received over Earth transmitting from a distance of over 24 billion kilometers into space. So on the surface of the Earth, clearly microwave and radio frequencies can go longer distances. So
okay, I don't know what you're referencing.
Just proving that these distances can't go nowhere. Well, clearly can. 24 billion miles.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know what you're. Okay, Carl, when you ask a person a question, it's common etiquette to let them respond to your question. I don't know if you learned that when you were fucking 5, but I'd appreciate it if you give me a chance to talk. Listen, bro, I'm not sure what you're referencing. You just said that this exists. You didn't give a name for it. You didn't give a method.
Voyager 1, there you go. There's a name for it. There you go. Voyager 1 currently holds the record for the furthest artificial signal received on Earth, transmitting from a distance of over 24 billion kilometers. So it's not the longest radio frequency distance or microwave frequency distance, because even though you want to say that it's a microwave frequency distance, try and suit your narrative, it's still some form of radio or radar frequency.
Carl, yesterday you said that microwaves were the thing that are in your kitchen, and all of a sudden you're an expert on them?
No. That was Mango. That wasn't me yesterday, so don't try and straw man me into a claim that I never made. Don't try and straw man me into a claim that I never made. You actually agreed yesterday on my live that the microwave frequencies is exactly the same as radar. So when I asked you then if microwave frequencies
that didn't happen.
Okay, now you want to crash out whilst I'm asking you another question? Sure.
You haven't given me a chance to respond to any of your points.
Just keep running. So you didn't see that yesterday, no?
No, I said that radar and microwave frequencies are
so you didn't agree yesterday. So I need to go onto my live recordings again and get another recording of a flat earther that completely and totally lied on my panel again yesterday when you came on my panel. You agreed with me that microwave frequencies and radar frequencies are both exactly the same thing.
No, I never said that.
You didn't say that. Okay, sure.
Can I respond with more than 2 words,
Just like that bloke yesterday didn't say that when I asked him if there any evidence of the flat Earth apart from a globe, and he said no. Just like yesterday when I asked that bloke, is there any evidence of the flat Earth apart from a globe?
Why don't you let him respond?
All that he said was no. All that he said was no. I have no evidence of the flat Earth apart from globe denial. Apart from globe denial. And he said no.
Are you biased?
Carl, let's keep it simple, man. Let's keep it simple.
Stop muting me.
Wait. Does light bend?
Finished though, was I?
I don't know it when you're finished, bro. You stop talking and then you let me respond for half a second and then you interrupt me again to project some nonsense. Let me know when you're done.
Didn't say that then, okay.
Bullshit. No, I want to clarify this.
You've lost the plot.
I want to clarify this. Hey, no? Okay, I don't get to address the claims that were made against my name and my character? No, that never gets to happen? Brilliant.
Right, so I got a question.
He asked me if radar was a type of microwave frequency, and I said, I'm not sure, I don't think it is. And then he took words out of my mouth that he won't let me talk.
Yeah, they are.
He won't let me talk. No, I never said that, bro. That doesn't suit
my narrative. That is literally what you said. I can get the live recording of it. Stop chatting shit and straw manning shit that I didn't say. So your little followers in the chat think that I'm lying when you're the one that's fucking lying.
Bro,
I can get the live recording. I can leave this live right now and post it fucking right now. I will find it and I will post it.
That's great. You're literally an F-tier Glober at best. Okay, I'm not scared of you, brother. Relax.
You're not scared that I've literally got evidence of you
No.
agreeing that microwave
I'm not scared of
frequencies and
anything you
radar
could possibly
frequencies
do
are
ever.
exactly the same thing. Okay, sure.
This is how you handle conversations. You're going to interrupt me again right now. I guarantee you. Because I asked you, you said there were no problems with the globe. And I don't care about your frequency that you shot off into space or alleged to shoot off into space. That's not measuring curvature of Earth or negating it, right? That has no basis in this discussion. You could launch a beam as far up into the sky as you want to. You're still not proving curvature or proving lack thereof. You're going to interrupt me again. I know it. You have no patience. You have no decorum.
You want to make claims? Okay, sure. How come it doesn't bounce off the solid dome firmament? You answer that.
I don't have any validity of your claims.
That question.
I don't have any validity of your claims.
How do you make a rainbow? How does a rainbow form, Cole?
Rainbow forms due to water.
And what else do you need to make the rainbow?
Light.
Why didn't it bounce off the firmament then?
Huh?
What is a rainbow?
Okay, Carl. I don't have any
rainbow.
I don't have any validation of your claim. You just made a baseless claim that we launched a frequency into the sky and it went billions of miles. That's all you said. And then you gave me a name that I have yet to look into.
Right.
You have given me no other substantive specificity in regards to this alleged frequency that you launched or that you heard
about. It's NASA, but then you cry and throw your dummy out the pram because obviously I've claimed to go and look at a space agency that obviously lies to everybody. But then when we ask flat earthers, is there any evidence of the globe? And they say, "Oh yeah, NASA lies to you. Oh, prove how NASA lies to you."
You're straw manning a lot of people, bro. You're talking about straw manning. All you're doing is straw manning.
Not a straw man. That's a steel man. That's literally what flat earthers do. NASA lies to you. Oh, okay. How did NASA lie to you? Here's document 1207 from fucking NASA. Shut the fuck up.
Hey guys, if I'm gonna get muted every time I talk by the most biased
wow, I'm over talking, Carl, and I'm getting muted. Oh wow.
I let you finish almost every time, bro. You're just a man-child.
Right,
can
so
you
Cloud can I ask Cloud a question quickly? Right.
Yeah, go for it, man.
What shape is a rainbow?
What shape is a rainbow? Come on, man.
Yes.
Go on.
No, answer it.
You know what shape a rainbow is, man.
So is it
a
half sphere? Is it a sphere? Is it a triangle? Is it a rectangle? Is it a star?
You can have a
exactly.
more linear
have a
projection of a rainbow.
You can
no shit, Sherlock. You can get a rainbow out of a fucking triangle.
Why is this guy like this, bro?
Oh, that sounds a bit like the fucking. That sounds a bit like an album cover.
Right now, we're talking about the standard rainbow.
Shit, Sherlock. Stop trying to obfuscate from the question.
We're talking about the standard rainbow,
question because there's variables. You're asking me what shape light is. Light doesn't have an inherent shape. It refracts and contorts to an atmosphere.
So
it doesn't come in this form of a shape.
Stop being an idiot, mate, and talk about the rainbow we see outside every day.
Exactly. We're talking about some other stuff.
What shape is the rainbow we see outside? Is my question.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
The dome?
We all know it's a dome.
Okay, let's take that into consideration,
it's a
right?
circle. It is a circle. It's not a half
No, it would be.
sphere. It is a circle.
Okay.
The higher up you go, the more of the rainbow you see. That is why they have the tale of you can't go to the end of the rainbow.
When I asked you what do you need to make a rainbow, you need some form of mirror.
Water.
You need a prism.
Yeah, and the prism for the rainbow in the sky is the fucking water moisture in the sky, and that is why when the sun shines on the rainbow, to our perspective on the Earth, we only see half of the rainbow. But if you were to go up into the sky, you would see the full rainbow.
The rainbow being that shape.
It would be round because none of you guys can answer that. It would be
rainbow
a circle.
being that shape proves that.
I can answer it if you don't interrupt me. If you don't interrupt me, I can answer it.
It would be a full bow.
If you don't, hold on.
It would be a circle rainbow.
Bro, Carl, I can answer you. Are you ready? Are you gonna mute me and interrupt me halfway through it? I know you are. You have an azimuthal. I knew it, brother. I knew it. You have an
azimuthal. Shit bag, and then I wouldn't fucking have to interact, though, would I?
No, you could just have some decorum.
No, yeah.
You could. You could. You're an adult, bro. You're probably older than me, acting like a baby. Anyway, you have an azimuthal.
Pulling those triggers, dude.
Don't let me answer. You're like, you can't answer this question as long as I don't allow you to answer it.
Oh, I
You
know
have an
how
azimuthal
simple
dome.
the answer is
Oh,
because
now it's
of
somebody
the
else.
reflection in the dome's
Now it's
curved.
somebody else.
That's why you've got a circle.
Do we want this question answered or don't we, guys? How do you
Your
ask for a
answer's
question?
simple-minded. There's
How
no
did we-
science to back what you're talking
Okay, you're
about.
straw manning. You're not
Plenty of
contributing
time to
anything.
ask the question. You just want to obfuscate.
I
and
want to.
whinge
No,
that
I'm
everybody else is
answering your
talking.
question, bro. I'm trying to. I get interrupted every time I try. Isn't that convenient? Listen, you have an azimuthal grid of vision. What does that mean? Does anybody know?
No.
It means you see things.
As the grid of vision. Great. Carry on.
Okay. All right, cool. We're actually listening. I like it. You have an azimuthal grid of vision. It means you see things in a dome-like fashion. This is why when you look at one side of the horizon, you will see crepuscular rays, and on the opposite side of the horizon, you will sometimes, not always, but you will sometimes see anti-crepuscular rays appearing to rise and or set, depending on perspective.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you don't want this question answered.
Why doesn't buildings curve?
Because that would be bad for structural integrity. Why are you invoking a red herring?
About your eyes. I mean about your
What?
eyeball.
How does he invoke a
You
red
said
herring
your eyes.
when fucking old school bridges have fucking curved arches in them, you dunce?
I was only mentioning it because
the
you
boat to
talked
go
about,
under, man.
you
You're
talked
talking
about your own
about-
vision and your
red herring.
So if your own vision makes things curve, it will make buildings curve. I'm talking about your vision, not the building itself.
Not from, dude, do you realize how far you can see? The building is well within your azimuth, right? Like towards the center of your azimuth, right?
Why is it
As you get
further
farther, listen, okay. Does everybody know what an azimuth is before we continue? Because now we have to discuss geometry, which is what your guys' you guys hate this topic. You have a center point of a circle. Okay, the circle around you is an azimuth. That would be your horizon, or otherwise known as your limitation of vision. Okay, as you go up from that center point, you draw a straight line upwards. That would be your zenith. Okay, and then you would draw a meridian line from the top of that zenith all the way down to connect with your azimuth. This is what forms your azimuthal grid of vision. As you get farther away, things will appear to curve. This is why you guys observe what appear to be rotations of stars. It's really just cameras. Literally the way.
What about cameras? What about cameras? What can look further than our vision? It's got fuck all to do with our vision.
Everything you observe has to do with your vision, brother.
When I typed in azimuthal grid of vision onto the old Googler, it's strange how it says that it's used for quite a lot of things. Like
listen, you can't use Google, man.
Astronomy. Strange that, isn't it?
How many genders are there in the world?
How you're claiming something that is based on astronomy somehow proves the flat Earth.
Carl, are you okay? Are you all right, buddy?
Are you okay? Are you all right? Why are you talking about stuff
buddy.
that? Why are you talking about space, bro? We're supposed to be on the shape of the Earth, not about space.
Baby, bro.
Why are we talking about space?
Oh my God, you've literally contributed 0%
Why
to
are we
this
talking
entire
about
discussion.
space?
I've been ahead of you for like years.
Why are we talking about space?
Hey, I'm answering
keep
you.
running, keep deflecting. Why are we talking about stuff that's used in astronomy for a flat Earth?
Carl, I'm answering you.
Why are we talking about stuff? Okay.
Carl, you ask questions
Carl,
and then you don't let people answer, and then you convince yourself that you're victorious.
You're over talking me. I could have answered you, but I'm going to continue whinging because I want to sound like I'm answering you, but I'm actually not, Carl.
Okay, whatever, dude. I'm trying to answer you. You interrupt me literally every time you ask me to answer a question. So if you could just refrain from doing that while I'm talking, you're doing it again.
I'm on mute instead of fucking whinging. But all you're doing is, why is not let me finish talking? I'm on mute. Fucking answer the question and stop deflecting and running away then.
Okay.
It's mad that you're doing this around your kid as well. Like, you're crazy.
Everything that we do, everything that
I like around my kid. Don't bring my fucking kid into it. Do what the fuck I like around my kid. If you don't like it,
calm down, man. This is the debate, man.
Okay, Carl. All right. We're not going to question your ability to be a father. I'm not going to go there, but we're going to talk about what you asked me to. I'm going to address your topic right now. When you observe things, right? Are you observing light by chance, Carl? Anybody?
I'm chiller than a cucumber, mate.
That's patently false. When you observe things, are you observing light by chance, Carl?
I observe things. Am I observing light? Well, I wouldn't be able to fucking observe anything without light going into my
Why do you
eye.
have to
Oh,
act like
smart
this?
ass.
Why do you have to act like this, bro? It's you're the one who has a genuine misunderstanding of the topics that you
Yeah,
yourself are
sure,
invoking.
sure.
Just act like an adult, bro. I've been an adult this whole time. I've not acted
If
like
light's not there, not going into my eyes, then guess what? I can't see, can I? I just can't. I just can't see it. Just can't see it. Do you know why I can't see it? Because there's no light going into my eyes.
He thinks he's so smart, dude. It's actually adorable. Okay, you've mastered that one. All right, we've conquered this radical conundrum. All right, great. So when you do observe light, does it always travel in a straight path to your eye, or is there a refraction phenomena that we sometimes have to account for?
Light travels in every direction.
I didn't ask you that.
Travel straight. You can't sit there and try and straw man and say that light travels in a straight direction when it fundamentally doesn't travel in a straight direction.
I asked you which one it does, Carl.
Directions.
I asked you when light travels to your eye. Okay, I know light travels in all directions. You're not answering my question though. When it travels to your eye, is it taking a very linear path, or is it sometimes bending because of a phenomena we classify as refraction? He's not going to answer the question.
Obviously, refraction in there, but when it comes to your eyes, it's minimal. You can't measure it with your eyes. That's why you have to have scientific stuff to be able to measure that refraction. There's clearly refraction there. Your eyes may not be able to deceive it.
Solely refraction isn't the same all the time. Some days the refraction levels are that low.
Oh, you don't say. Hey,
see these buildings you see on the horizon.
You're arguing on my behalf. Did you skip ahead? Did you skip ahead a page in my book? Are you reading a few chapters ahead? Are you doing some advanced research? You're not keeping up with the lesson. I like it, dude. You're showing some initiative. I appreciate it. Yeah, light does not always take the same path to your eye. Therefore, when you observe things, sometimes there's differentiation. Like, you guys are crazy, bro. How you delude yourselves into believing that you're intellectually superior is fucking beyond me, bro. You've been a step behind me at the very end.
Hey, bro, my
6-year-old child
is more intellectually superior than you are because you think the Earth is flat. So you can come here and say that we don't know certain things about the globe. We may not. But at least we don't think that the Earth is fucking flat. My 6-year-old child knows more about the universe than you do because you don't believe in the universe because the universe is fake.
Okay. Just believing that the Earth is flat does not inherently make you stupid. Being able to address topics...
It makes you more than stupid because there's no evidence to fucking back it up. It's like
listen,
somebody
without
saying
indoctrination, your kid wouldn't think
you got arrested for it with no fucking evidence and got locked up for your entire life and then tried to fucking claim innocence and nobody listened to you.
I don't know what you said. I wasn't really listening to any of that. You do have
escape from that now, don't you? Yeah, sure. I
haven't got arrested since I was like 20, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's an analogy, bro. I'm not assuming that, and that wasn't anything that I was just fucking like, oh my days, like seriously.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't listening, brother. It had no importance to the subject matter, so I kind of disregarded it because nothing you've contributed actually mattered up until this point. So why would you start now? You're gonna interrupt me again? Yeah, brilliant. So we do have evidence that the Earth is flat. I gave you a microwave frequency transmission, and nobody's given me an objective or practical response as to how it fully negates 80 miles of missing Earth curve. In fact, multiple people think that microwaves are just kitchen ornaments.
About me not being able to let you respond, and every time I've asked you a question, you ran away from it, going, "Oh, Carl hasn't gave me a chance to respond. You've had a chance to respond, but now you want to deflect back to your original question. Make your fucking mind up."
Is microwave frequency a form of light?
Yes, it's not on the visible light spectrum, but yes, it's electromagnetic radiation, brother. Yep.
So does light bend?
It can, but microwaves are highly focused beams of light. So, okay, no. Just not going to let me retort to that at all. Nope, we got to assume it's refracting 80 miles. That's the only logical explanation. Fuck it. Earth's still a ball no matter what. We can't let the Earth be flat. Fuck that. Anything but that. No, I'm scared of flatties. No, we can't let the Earth be flat and motionless.
How come when I go out to
prove that we're the center of creation?
Sorry, if the Earth was flat, how come when I go out to see it on a boat, right, and I use radar, how come the radar doesn't pick up the land from like 20 plus nautical miles away from the land? Can you explain that? Why that is if the Earth is flat?
Mute me after you ask me a question. Really, brother? That's called light attenuation.
wasn't the answer.
That's the answer to your question. That's why it doesn't travel forever, because light attenuates in a medium. You're just too stupid to understand basic
if the Earth was
terminology.
flat, that radar would be able to hit the land because there's nothing in the fucking way. The reason why radar doesn't hit the fucking land is because there's a big load of fucking water in the way.
Is fucking brilliant.
And the Earth's curvature. That's
I can't wait for you to shut up. I have the smartest retort to your. I can't wait for you to shut up, bro. I have smart retorts for everything you're saying. Does light travel forever in a medium, Carl?
The answer to that would be no.
The answer to that would be no. So light attenuation is a well-documented, well-observed phenomena that we observe on Earth. There's actually an inverse square law proportionate to the observation that we classify as light attenuation. It's well-documented laws of physics regarding light. You just don't understand it. So when I say light attenuation is the answer to your question, you're just like, you didn't answer my question because you're just too stupid to fucking get it, bro. You suck at this.
This globe math. It's all globe math.
What, light attenuation is globe math? The inverse square law of light is globe math? Explain how it only works in a sphere.
All these things, most of them, what you're saying apart from a few, is globe math. You know, you're trying
how
to
is the inverse square law of light globe math?
That's generally what flat earthers are. What I'll do is, I'll say this to make it suit my narrative. I'll add little pieces of information of the globe in, so then you get confused. And then try and straw man it.
You have a fundamental misunderstanding of the entire discussion.
The atmosphere is blue. That's why mountains in the distance look blue, because light cannot go forever inside of a medium. Eventually, it hits all the particles. That's why a mountain further away from you is blue. Further away from that is blue. Further away from that is blue. That's why things in the distance look bluer and bluer until you can't see them anymore. Right?
Brilliant. How is the inverse square law of light?
That doesn't align with flat Earth, because then you wouldn't have a solid horizon. You'd have a fuzzy horizon that is like partially blue.
I'd love to talk with you, Matt. I really would, but I really want the question to this answer, or the answer to this question rather. How is the inverse square of light globe math? How is it globe math, Carl? Explain it to me. How does it only work on a sphere? How is it derived from sphericity or non-Euclidean geometry?
It's not. It's just math about light, bro. That's it.
I know. Carl's just a dummy, and he should really just pay attention and actually... Maybe he should come to your lives, Matt. You're well informed, to my understanding. I'm not insulting you at all. I promise I'm actually not. Maybe he should learn a thing or two from the people who subscribe to the same religion-based occultic.
The main reason I was saying it's all globe math is because how the sun comes through the atmosphere and stuff like this, and the light. How does this work on a flat Earth with the sun inside the firmament?
Exactly. But he's going to say,
I can answer that question. Carl's not going to let me.
Wrong, though, Carl. Respectfully, Carl. Let me ask you this, man. Do you think that a flat earther is going to trust NASA or some third party that you bring up, or some experiment that you did? You're going to tell them that something happened? You're going to
not even that, bro. Not even that. Like, what he's saying is just patently false.
I do experiments at home all the time. I don't need NASA.
No, just listen. What he's saying is just patently false. You're saying that like light would behave differently in an atmosphere that's not specific to shape of Earth, right? Light would still behave the same way with the same atmosphere. We're not the object in question no longer becomes the shape of Earth.
Light would act differently because it's inside the fucking firmament, and that light's closer than what the fucking sun is on the globe. So surely it would act differently. It's what you want about.
No, light still behaves the same way. You just you scale it down proportionately, bro.
Right.
It's
I've
basic
got the
laws
answer
of
to this.
physics.
Right, the inverse square law states that the intensity of a force or field from a point source decreases proportionally to the square of the distance from the source, which is directly applicable to calculations involving planets or globes.
Yeah, you can if you assume the if you have to assume the intensity of the light.
So
like it's the same. Can I quickly? If you give the analogy of just hear me out, brother. If you give the analogy of a flashlight in the woods, okay, there's going to be a few trees in front of you that are very well lit. As the trees get farther away from you, they're going to be less lit over distance proportionately. And you're right, it does decrease over distance by 1/4 every time you double the distance. I'm not disagreeing with that, but unless you know the intensity of the light, you can't get an accurate measurement of anything in the fucking sky because you don't know how bright those things are or how big they are. And you assume the medium of which they're traveling through as well. And you also assume that light is a constant, even though it's proven to be anisotropic. So I really don't understand the point of any of this.
So you just agreed, right, to that statement, correct?
I agreed to the inverse square law of light, yes.
So why is it that it works on a globe?
It works within the atmosphere, bro. It's not that it's not. It wouldn't matter if we lived on a trapezoid, bro. It lives on the It works in the Dude, you guys are so far behind. Matt, you got to get these people in check, bro.
Why are you on a fucking flat Earth with a solid dome fucking container? No, there wouldn't be no air on a flat Earth with a solid dome container with no fucking pressure gradient. There wouldn't be no air because everybody's fucking breathed it up.
Look at him, dude.
Fucking trying to
look at him. There wouldn't be gas pressure in a container. It can't work that way.
You can't get a differential in pressure. You can't get a pressure gradient in a fucking container.
Yes, you can.
You can say this a lot simpler.
You cannot.
Carl. You can get a pressure gradient inside of a container.
You cannot
you still need gravity.
The only way you can do it is release the valve.
Carl, bro.
Look at him, dude. He's not even listening to the people on his side.
Things, bro. Right. Carl, check it out. Listen.
Be quiet a second, right? Everyone, be quiet a second, right? Why are you nitpicking about the inverse square of law, right? When it is geometrically derived from the spreading of influence for a spherical surface.
It's not.
Right? It applies to gravity, sound.
No, it's not. It's hold on. Just let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Right. Is light affected by gravity?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Well, okay, if we're using Einsteinian, but if we're talking Newtonian, no, light is massless.
No, so still Newtonian, yes, it would.
Light is massless.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's massless or mass. The surface of the space is changing. God. It's following a straight line.
That's Einsteinian, bro. That's Einsteinian.
Yeah, and it's true.
Okay, I'm not disputing that. We can get onto that. I'd love to.
Well, then we're good then.
I'm not. Okay, I can address that at a later point, but what he's asking me is why the inverse square law of light is specific to a curved surface. It's fucking not. I just told you can go to a random street that's flat and shine a flashlight, and that light is going to decrease and diminish in intensity as it travels through the medium that it's traveling through. That's not specific to curvature of Earth. It's not specific to gravity. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's every time you double the distance, the intensity of the light, the luminescence diminishes by 25%. If this is word salad, I recommend fucking researching some shit. My God, dude.
Carl, host, what he's saying is true about the inverse square law. It's just a factor of there's a source, and it gets exponentially less and less strong as you get further away from it because the light has to spread out in all directions. But that is fine between a flat Earth and a globe Earth. What you should be focused on are the things that do not work on a flat Earth, that only work on a globe Earth, which would be how we see the moon currently. And the best thing to use that cannot be denied by a flat earther is the fact that we do in fact observe the moon, and we observe only one face of it at all times. And no flat earther is going to say, I don't believe that experiment. I don't believe that scientists or NASA. You can see the fucking moon for yourself. So I've already developed a three-step syllogism that proves the Earth cannot be flat and undeniable by any flat earther.
Hold on.
I already tried using sextants earlier, but that was like a nutter. I was like, what about the dip angle on a sextant?
I didn't say nutter. You told me you hold a sextant vertical. You told me you hold a sextant horizontally, bro.
If the Earth was flat, the sextant would have a dip angle.
No, that's not true. That's not Matt. Hold on, bro. You just got here in a minute.
You literally said a sextant would have a dip angle on the flat Earth.
Yes. Because you hold it vertically. You can't let me talk. You love making claims about shit that you misunderstood within my own argument, and then like projecting your own misunderstanding and your own intellectual ineptitude to the audience to try to convince them that you're correct. I explained to you how you hold a sextant from start to finish, right? Do you remember the conversation, Carl? Do you hold a sextant vertically or no? Do you hold it horizontally? What do you do with it? Do you remember the conversation?
Vertically in front of you, and then you point it near to the horizon from your vertical point of vision, and then you point the dip angle down, and that's how you get your correct distance to the horizon. Because the horizon is never at eye level, because there's a fucking curvature of the Earth.
Okay.
If the Earth was flat, you wouldn't have to look down. You'd be looking straight out or up. So
that's not what a dip angle
on a flat Earth is proving that you're a disingenuous piece of shit.
Carl, he can just argue refraction, bro. He can argue that it's refraction and that changes the height of the horizon.
That's not what a dip angle is, Carl. What are you talking about? Explain it. What's a dip angle, Carl? What is it?
Dip angle is the difference from your eye level to the level of the horizon on
an observation?
On the observation of the thing, yeah.
There you go. Okay, fair enough, bro. But yes, you could still have
I know
that
what
because
I'm
of.
talking about.
Great. You could still have that because of refraction and light attenuation. You guys don't understand the physics of light.
Light refraction, light continuation. Fine.
Continuation?
Sure. That may work on a flat Earth, but why would you need a dip angle and then have to know where the stars are and where they're going to move to and where you're going to and where they're going to move if the Earth is flat? Because the Earth is a non-rotating flat surface with projections of stars.
I don't see what the argument
rotate in one direction. So when you're navigating in the southern hemisphere, you're fucked.
All right, great. No, you have a whole lot of fine-tuning problems with the southern hemisphere navigation. You have like magnetic declination and a laundry list of other problems.
Magnetic declination in the northern hemisphere as well. It happens all over the globe.
All right, am I gonna get a chance to speak, bro?
Right. I'm just going to ask one question quickly because I've got to get my daughter ready for bed, but I'll be back in a minute. I'm not going to end the live. Right. When I
gotta get going here soon. I'm not trying to I know you guys are gonna say I'm running away, but I gotta get my day started, bro.
I'm gonna claim that you're running away, right?
Well, Carl, mate.
When I was on your live, dude. When I was on your live, right? I asked you, how does a pendulum work? A Foucault pendulum, right? And why is it that it rotates in one direction in the southern hemisphere and a different direction in the northern hemisphere, but doesn't rotate at all on the equator? Can you remember what your response to my question was?
I don't remember what I told you, but it changes based on precession on a variety of factors. There's actually that. Okay, Foucault's pendulum is really flimsy, bro. Sometimes it precesses the wrong way, just in general, regardless of where it's the direction that it's supposed to precess. It'll sometimes precess the wrong way. Sometimes you don't get the actual measured precession that you're expecting. Very rarely do you actually. They actually cherry pick the results of the ones that agree with their paradigm.
Well, he doesn't agree with it. He doesn't believe that it's a real thing that actually happens specifically only in the southern hemisphere. He's denying.
No,
it.
I didn't say that. Didn't say that.
Have direct access to it.
Nope, that's a straw man. You got to interrupt me and straw man me, bro. They were stooping to disingenuous nature.
That it only rotates in one direction in the south.
I'm not on the.
Can you say that again?
I'm literally got.
You deny that the pendulum only rotates in one direction in the south.
I'm saying it depends on how you set it up and the formulas you base it upon. And even then, you sometimes get a variety of results. There are times where it sometimes precesses in the wrong direction, and sometimes it doesn't precess at the agreed
you deny that
amount.
it only happens in one direction. You could just
if that's how you want to phrase it to try to make your argument look stronger, dude, I'll just give it to you.
All right, let's simplify this because I really don't want you saying a shit ton of words to say something simple. In the South, the argument is the pendulum only swings in one direction, right? One rotation, but you're saying that sometimes it swings in the other rotation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. Then so we can say yes or no and just move on from that. Point being, Carl, this is what I'm saying, is they can deny everything that they have not directly witnessed themselves or that there are different scenarios for. Sure. Could he be right about that? Sure, maybe. Could be the
case.
That
falsifies your narrative.
To observe every single one. But what you can't falsify is what, Solly? What can't you falsify? It's on screen right now. Spoiler alert.
Are you talking about the way that we observe the moon?
Yes. Oh my God. We all observe the moon, and we only observe one face of it, right? Did anybody deny that?
I have friends in southern locations.
This is class participation too. Chat, please chime in if you think you see the moon a different way than one face.
Okay, great. I have friends in different locations on Earth, some of them being southern locations, and you don't actually see it 180 degrees flipped. You see it more maybe 135 to 90.
They see the same face.
That's not what I'm asking.
The opposite side of
it's the same face.
Clarifying.
They still see the same face, but they just see it the opposite way than what we do in the northern hemisphere.
Okay.
So this is for the chat too, guys. Listen, anybody here, you can answer step 1. Do we see one face of the moon at all times?
Yeah.
Say yes, say no, put that in the chat. That's step 1 right there. Solly, are you saying yes or no to that one?
Of course I'm saying yes, and I have a perfect response whenever you're done with your dogma.
No, that's fantastic. All right, so that's all the dogma right there. We all see one face of the moon. Now, if the moon was an object, if it was a ball, right, and you were seeing one face of it, you can't be standing on either side of that ball because you're looking at opposite sides of it. If it was a dinner plate, a flat disc, you'd be looking at the flat sides like a line of that dinner plate. You're not looking at the circle part of it. So you have to lift that thing up, be it a flat disc or a ball, up until you essentially are seeing the same face of it, the bottom. Do you disagree or agree with that?
Explain that again, bro. It's
host, can you put me on big screen? It's
that it's
a lot easier to see.
Let's just calm down, bro. You don't have any evidence that it's a sphere, okay?
We didn't even get there. This is just step 2, bro.
Okay.
I'm
you're
really
already
small parts.
pre-assuming that it's a sphere.
No, I'm not.
You said if it's a sphere, that's a pre-assumption.
Or what? What else did I say?
If it's a flat disk, it could be a lunar disk. Yeah, it's depicted as such by ancients, sure.
Okay, so in both options, right, in order to see a full circle and to see only one face, right, it has to be high enough so that all parties see the same face of that object, correct?
It would have to be high enough. Yeah. And also if you had a dinner plate and you drew a 6 on it and you moved it to a different location and had a different person observe it from the opposite angle, it would be a 9. So I'm really not
if I look at your face upside down, it's still the same face, bro. I'm not talking about orientation. It's still the same face of the object.
No. That's not what we're disputing.
Do you agree or disagree?
Hold on. If you draw a 6 on a plate and you move it to a different location,
if you would turn his face upside down, it would still be the same face. It would just be upside down. Yeah,
it's actually on screen. The 2 moons are just different orientation, but it's literally the same face.
6 on a plate.
Do you not realize?
Is that a physical object?
Can we just? Do you not realize
is that 6
picture
on a plate a physical object? Yes or no?
Yes, it would be a physical object.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
No, we're getting off track.
Is a plate a physical object? I want to ask. Do you not realize? Okay,
what's your question?
Do you not realize that is literally just the same picture flipped 180 degrees in a photo editor?
No, this specific one is. This is just to illustrate that it is the same face, even though it's oriented differently. Do you agree or disagree?
So it's literally just, like I said, you're going to completely disregard the fact that there are locations on Earth that don't see at 180 degrees and that it's not always a constant 180 degrees.
The orientation does not change the face. Do you agree or disagree?
The face? Yeah, you always see the same face, bro.
Beautiful. That's literally step 2. That's all it was. So, like, yes, 1, we see the moon and we see it at one face all the time, whether it is flat disk or a sphere. And the only way to see that same face is if you have the same viewing angle. But how do you get the same viewing angle of an object between 2 people, right? Someone all the way in the north and all the way in the south. It's for that object to be high enough so you have almost the same viewing angle. Agree or disagree?
Okay.
I think okay is like a positive, so you're affirming that?
Yeah, I mean, this seems like you're not proving shape of Earth.
All right. No, perfect. I didn't prove anything yet. However, step 3 is where it's the gotcha. Like, there's only 3 steps here. It's so easy, and you can't deny it because NASA isn't telling you this. It's your eyeballs. If that object is that high, 7x, and x is the distance between North America and South America. That's a really long distance. What's the furthest distance you could possibly travel on Earth? How far away could that moon get from you? 2x? It's on the other side of the flat disk? I'll even give you 3x. Let's say it's 3 times the distance of the entire northern the entire southern
What's the size of the moon? What's the size of the moon?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter? Now it doesn't matter? The size of the dinner plate doesn't matter? The size of the object in question does not matter? That's interesting.
The viewing angle to that object is not regarded, doesn't regard the size of it.
Really?
It points to the center. Do you see it on screen?
Yeah, no, that would be a very important variable. What's the size of the moon?
Does the center point change based on the size of the object?
Bro. You can't get me, bro.
Solly, does the center point change the size of the object?
It depends on... No. Wait, what was your question?
Okay, there you go. Then perfect.
No, what is
then
your
it's
question?
a non-option.
Repeat that. Hold on. I didn't understand.
Look on screen. Do you see the object there? Do you see any size given on that moon there? Nothing.
I don't see a size.
To the center point of the
That's
object.
the problem. No. You don't get to talk through me after disregarding an important variable.
I just addressed you.
You just talk right through me. Such as the size of the object in question.
Again,
if the object was bigger, would it change the angle to the center?
It's just completely irrelevant. So if the moon was the size of
but the size of the object.
Carl,
you suck.
There's only 3 steps here. We're literally on step 3.
I know there's only 3 steps in your fucking gotcha setup. I know that's all there can possibly be afforded, because if I ask any important questions, you're not going to be able to answer them. If
you
the
just
moon was the
asked and I
size of a
answered.
pea, would it have a matter? Would it affect the observation?
If it was the size of the pea and we only see one face of that pea, no, it wouldn't change anything. You're still looking at an angle to the center of the object.
Oh, that's a lie.
Guys,
you wouldn't be able
look
to
at
see
the screen. What does that change?
Look, bro, I don't do gotchas.
Solid. What does it change? Look at the screen, bro.
How big is the moon?
It doesn't matter how big it is. I'm not making a claim of the size.
How big is the moon?
Because the second I do, I have to back up what the size is, but it's not even required for the 3-step process to prove you wrong.
Yeah, because you don't incorporate necessary variables in your gotchas.
It's
I know
not a
your guerrilla
variable. I
tactics,
just showed
bro.
you how
I
it's
know your
not a
guerrilla
variable.
tactics, bro. Come on, I could school all of you guys. I literally just cooked this whole thing.
Solly, don't run from it. Does the center point, the viewing to the center point of that object, change based on the size of the object? Go ahead.
Does the center point change?
Yes. The angle to the center point, does it change based on the size of the object?
Not necessarily, no.
Thank you. So we can move on, because it's not a factor. Right?
It still would be a factor, because you're not just looking at the center.
Then you're going to say it's a factor.
Are you only
That's
looking
fine.
at the center of the moon when you observe it?
You're looking at an object that has some center, and it has 360 degrees around that object.
How do you determine the angle that you're viewing it at, or the angle of the moon of which you see? Because you have little angles, 15-degree segments of those. How do you determine the angle without knowing the size?
We went over that in step 2. It's the face of the object. If it's the same face, then it's just about the same viewing angle to that face. I don't care if it's a P or
how did you
like a
determine
giant
the
planet.
angle of the? How did you determine
it's
the
on
angle?
Screen.
I'm asking you a question, brother. If you can't answer it, then you're the one.
Sure. Anybody in the chat, do you guys want to answer this? How do you determine the viewing angle, the minimum viewing
I'm not
angle
asking
to
you
an
the
object?
viewing angle. You're misunderstanding, and you're trying to get the audience on board with you. Okay, are you gonna act like Carl now? You gonna interrupt me every time I ask you a question?
I'm not acting like Carl, and you know that, bro.
You could have fooled me, bro. On the moon, right?
A lot of things fool you.
Little box. You're gonna do it again. On that little box where it says reality, right?
Yep.
You have little 3-degree measurements, but what are those little pie slices of the moon itself? What are those angles based upon? The size of the moon, perhaps? How did you verify those?
Sure, that's based on a 360-degree view of an object and what angle you're viewing that object at.
How did you determine how much of the moon would be visible? Based on what angle? How did you get the size of the moon?
The size of the moon is irrelevant.
Oh, it's
and
only
we just went over that and you
because it
just
doesn't
agreed
work for
to
your
it.
gotcha? That's unfortunate.
No, because I did not look. Here's the thing. I'll jump this to 3, right? Because we already kind of admitted that. Hey, look, the viewing angle to the center of an object, right, which is a 360-degree calculation of what percentage of that thing you're seeing, does not matter on the size of it, just the viewing angle, which is on screen. But if you want to deny that, that's fine. You'll have a escape hatch if step 3 goes wrong for you. Step 3 is simply this: an object that is 7 times the distance, right, between North America and South America in height, but only 3 times the distance away from you, would it ever look like it's at the horizon? If a moon is traveling away from you towards the horizon and it travels 3x, but it is always 7x above you, will that ever look like it's at the horizon?
There's a lot of variables there, bro. When you look at the moon, are you looking at the moon physically?
There's 2 variables.
Okay, no, that's what I'm saying. You guys don't compensate for every necessary variable. When you look at the moon, are you looking at the actual physical location of the moon, or are you looking at an apparent location?
You're looking at an apparent location from light.
Oh, so how did you get a physical location for an object if you only get an apparent location?
The minimum height is dictated by the viewing angle.
Not asking you that. How did you get an object? How did you get a height of an object if you only get the apparent location of it?
Because the apparent location doesn't change the viewing angle. If you see a building and it looks apparently lower,
the same as
right?
the physical location?
It's not. You're not seeing a different face of that building, right, Solly?
Is the apparent location the same as the physical location? I can get you too, bro.
No, it's not. But does that change the face you're viewing?
Oh, so how did you get a physical location of an object and determine the angle of which you were viewing it upon?
It's a minimum height. Based on what you are able to view,
based on what physical data? Based on what physical data?
Based on the face of the object, what doesn't change with the
face of the apparent object? The face of the apparent object, Matt?
Not the apparent object. You agree the object exists. The object is not apparent. The location is.
The location is apparent, yeah. Based on what measurement did you get a physical? Based on what measurement did you get a physical location for an apparent observation?
What's on screen? The fact that we can see the same face of the object.
Yeah, it's your little cartoon.
Gives you a minimum
height.
You
can't answer my question. You guys have
I just answered. It's the minimum height.
No,
you're gonna run?
I cooked all of you, bro. I cooked all of you. I gotta get my day started.
Step 3 is if something is 3 feet in front of you but 7 feet in the air, it can never look like it's at the horizon.
Matt, real quick, bro. 3
feet in front of you, 7 feet in the air, never at the horizon. Go ahead.
Real quick. When I leave, I'm taking the flat earthers with me. You guys are left to your echo chamber. Enjoy your day, guys. Peace.
Okay. I mean, you can run. Any one of your flat earth friends can answer. So here's the point. Let me summarize, right? Because he tried moving the goalpost saying, hey, look, the apparent location in the sky of the moon changes. But it doesn't change. Like, if you're looking at a building and that building due to refraction looks lower or higher, you're not all of a sudden seeing the other side of the building. No, you're seeing the same face of the building. It just looks like it's either higher or lower. Same thing here. You're seeing the same face of that moon, which gives you a minimum height. It doesn't matter if it looks like it's to the left or to the right or up or down in your view. It still is at least that minimum height away from you to have the same viewing angle to that object. But here's the thing. Step 3 is simply this.